What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be doing my 2023 NASCAR Cup Series race winner predictions. I'll be going through every single race and tell you who I think is going to win each of every single Cup Series race. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Let's begin by talking about the Busch Clash. Once again, in 2023, the NASCAR Cup Series will be returning to LA Coliseum to kick off the season in the first week of February. I think this time around it's going to be very similar to the race in 2022, where I think the guys that were really strong in 2022 are going to be strong in 2023. And because of that, my winner's pick for the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum is going to be a driver moving to a new organization, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, of course, will be moving over to the A car for Rich Schultz Racing in 2023. Kyle Busch was very strong in this race in 2022, dominated, but also the A car was the fastest car through the first half of the race before it had some issues with the drivetrain in the back of the car, had a broken parts on it that kind of took it out of contention. I think Kyle Busch is going to kick off the season with a new organization, and I think kicks off the season by winning the Busch Clash. There'll be a 1-week break, and they'll be heading to Daytona for Daytona Speed Weeks. For the first race of the regular season, of course, the Daytona 500, the Great American Race. This race, I think, is going to be very similar also to 2022, where the racing is very similar to what we saw at Talladega, and also Daytona as well, where there'll be some chaos. This guy I'm picking to win has been a guy that's been really strong on super speedways and came very close to winning the race in 2022. I'm going with Bubba Wallace to win his first Daytona 500 and his third career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Bubba Wallace is really strong in the Daytona 500 2022. If not for the fender being ripped off in 2022, he probably beats Austin Cindric to the line. So I've got Bubba Wallace winning the Daytona 500 in 2023. Right after Daytona 500, we'll be heading out to the West Coast for the West Coast Swing and kick off for the second race of the season at Auto Club Speedway for the final race on the 2-mile configuration, as the track will be turned to a half-mile short track in 2024. My winner's pick of this race is the guy who won the last time we were here in the spring, Kyle Larson. Now, Kyle Larson, I think, is going to dominate this race a lot more than he did in 2022. Larson did not have the best car in 2022, as Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones were clearly better than Kyle Larson a majority of the day. But Tyler Reddick had a flat tire that took him out of contention. I think Larson's going to be much faster, and he'll get his first win of 2023 at Auto Club. Right after Auto Club, we're heading to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first of 2 times in this season. Las Vegas 1.5-mile track, where I think veterans are going to be really strong in this race. My race winning pick for Las Vegas Motor Speedway is a guy who won the last time we were here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Joey Logano. Joey Logano is one of the best drivers at Las Vegas, and Penske tends to bring really quick and really strong cars at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So I think that pace and speed is going to matter a lot, especially when we get to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm picking Joey Logano to win at Las Vegas. Right after Las Vegas, we're going to be staying on the West Coast to the West Coast Swing, and we'll be heading to Phoenix Raceway. The last couple times at Phoenix, we've seen some kind of not the greatest racing in the world, where it's very, very difficult to pass, and I expect very similar in this race in 2023. My race winner pick is going to be a driver who probably should have won the last 2 races at Phoenix Raceway, Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney's had the fastest car the last 2 times at Phoenix. Dominated the spring race in 2022, but had issues in pit road. And in the fall race in 2022, had to stay behind Joey Logano. He's not going to have to worry about team motors in 2023. I think Ryan Blaney wins at Phoenix. Right after Phoenix, we're going to be heading back to the southwest of the country, and we'll be going to Atlanta Motor Speedway. This track is expected to race very similar to a super speedway, unlike what a lot of us thought it would be. It will race very similar to a super speedway, a 1.5-mile super speedway. My race winner's pick for Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to be driver one the last time we were here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Chase Sully, who gets his first win of 2023. Chase Sully had a really fast car in the sprint, in the races here, in both races here, was very, very strong. And I think goes back-to-back in Atlanta and gets his first win of 2023 at Atlanta. Right after Atlanta Motor Speedway, we'll be heading back to the West Coast, a little bit more to the west, to the south, basically to the west of the country. We're heading back to Circuit of the Americas for the 3rd time. This race was dominated last time, had a really incredible move near the end of the race between Ross Chastain, A.J. Allmendinger, and Alex Bowman. Now, I have a Trackhouse car winning this time around, but it's going to be the other Trackhouse car. I've got Daniel Suarez winning this race in 2023. Daniel Suarez was very strong in the beginning of the race in 2022. Actually won stage 1, but had tire problems and then basically got involved in a wreck that was caused by Corey LaJoie, if I'm not mistaken. I think Daniel Suarez gets a redemption going to Dakota in 2023, and I believe he'll win at Circuit of the Americas. Right after Circuit Americas, we'll be heading more back to the East Coast and we'll be in Richmond, Virginia for the Cup Series race at Richmond International Raceway. My winner's pick for this race is going to be basically won by an organization, a team that's been really strong at Richmond throughout their careers, and a driver who's been extremely strong. I've got Denny Hamlin winning at Richmond. Now, a big thing to know, this is going to be Denny Hamlin's only win of the season. Denny Hamlin, of course, a lot of rumors about his future past 2023 at the moment. Denny Hamlin, I think, gets his only win in 2023 at Richmond, where he won in the spring of 2022. I think Denny Hamlin wins. Right after Richmond racing, we'll be heading to Bristol Dirt for the Cup Series race on Easter at Bristol Dirt on the dirt configuration of Bristol. The last time we were here at Bristol Dirt, this came down to a really incredible finish between Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe, where Chase Briscoe basically lost a little bit of talent and lost it in the corner, and Kyle Busch snuck through and got his final win at Joe Gibbs Racing. This time around, my race winner's pick is going to be the driver of the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson wasn't as good in 2022 at this race, but I think Hendrick Motorsports really looked strong near the end of the year, especially Larson did at the end of the year, and I think Kyle Larson is going to win at Bristol Dirt. He's my race winner's pick. Right after Bristol Dirt, we'll be heading to Ridgeway, Virginia for the Cup Series race at Martinsville, and this time, instead of it being a night race, it'll be a day race. This time around at Martinsville, I think this race is going to be very similar to what we saw in the spring of 2022, but I think that's going to be on the drivers running up front, because I think that William Byron is going to win the spring race at Martinsville in 2023. William Byron, extremely quick in 2022 in both races here. I think William Byron brings that same pace and speed and gets it done. Right after Martinsville Speedway, we'll be heading to Talladega, Alabama for the first of 2 races at Talladega in 2023. This race will be very similar to the one in fall in 2022, where no one really ran the Highline. I expect very similar in 2023. My race winner's pick is a driver who's been up front in the last 2 races here, but hasn't been able to cross the finish line first. I am going with Eric Jones to win his only race of 2023 at Talladega. Eric Jones is a very underrated super speedway racer, in my opinion, and I think that underratedness he gets at these super speedways is going to play a major factor. I think he wins at Talladega. Right after Talladega, we'll be heading to Dover, Delaware for the Cup Series race, and the only race at Dover in 2023. This race last time was won by Chase Elliott. Now in 2023, I think the driver's going to win is going to come from the Chevy camp, but I'm not picking Chase Elliott to win this time around. My race winner's pick for Dover is going to be Ross Chastain. It's going to take Ross Chastain a little bit farther in the season to get his first win of the 2023 season. But when I look at Ross Chastain and the pace he had in this race, especially in 2022, I think that pace is going to come into play, and I think Trackhouse will show a lot of speed at Dover. I think he wins at Dover. Right after Dover, we're heading to the Midwest to race at Kansas Speedway. The last time we were here in the spring, we saw the 45 car actually sweep the year with Bubba Wallace winning the fall race and, of course, Kurt Busch winning the spring race and getting his final career Cup Series victory. I think in 2023, we're going to continue to see a trend of 2311 Racing winning, and I'm picking Tyler Reddick to get his first win at 2311 Racing done. I'm picking Tyler Reddick to get it done at Kansas. Tyler Reddick, historically really good at Kansas, has had some tire problems that took him out of contention to go out there and win races there, but I think Tyler Reddick gets it done for the first time, and I don't see him having tire problems in 2023. I've got Tyler Reddick winning finally this first ever race at Kansas. I got Reddick winning at Kansas. Right after Kansas, we'll be heading to Darlington Raceway for the throwback weekend. This race last time was won by Joey Logano after basically getting into the back of William Byron to completely dump him in this race. This time around, a driver who's not won in quite a bit of time is going to win. I am picking the driver who won the 2021 edition of the throwback race, Martin Truex Jr., to win this one. This is going to end an over year and a half streak since his last win at Richmond in 2021. I think Truex finally gets back to victory lane. I think he's going to be really fast throughout 2023. I just don't see him winning early, but I think because we get a little bit farther into the year, I think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to get his first and only win, because this is going to be the only win of the year. But I've got Martin Truex Jr. winning his first race of 2023 and only win at Darlington. Right after Darlington, we're going to be heading to North Wilkesboro for the first time since 1996. We'll be racing in the All-Star race. The driver I'm picking to win is a driver who's tended to win new races at all these tracks. He won at Worldwide Technology Raceway, he won at the LA Coliseum, and he also won Bristol Dirt. So, historically, you go with the guy who's done it. I'm picking Joey Logano to win the All-Star race, and this will be his last win of 2023. Joey Logano, like I mentioned, known to win basically at racetracks we go to for the first time. I don't think there will be any exception there. I'm going to go with Joey Logano to win the All-Star race. After the All-Star race, we'll be staying in North Carolina and racing in the Coca-Cola 600. This race, of course, a race that was very, very crazy the last time. It came down to a wild finish where Denny Hamlin ended up winning. Now, last time Toyota won. This time around, I think Chevy is going to win, and I think that William Byron is going to get a second and final win of the 2023 season in the Coca-Cola 600. William Byron in 2022 won the fastest cars in the race before he had tire problems and got involved in the big wreck near halfway through the race. I don't think William Byron runs into those problems in 2023. I think William Byron will become victorious in the 2023 Coca-Cola 600. Right after the Coca-Cola 600, we'll be heading back to the gateway to the west at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the second time. And like I mentioned, Joey Logano won this race. This time around in 2023, the driver in picking to win is not going to be a Ford. Ford dominated this race in 2022, but in 2023, I think the Chevys are going to have an opportunity to win. And I'm picking Chase Elliott to get his second win of the 2023 season at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Chase Elliott actually had a pretty fast car before he had troubles in 2022 with Ross Chastain. He was really starting to get his way up to the front and was showing a lot of pace and speed. I think he's going to bring a lot of pace to Gateway, and I think Chase Elliott will get his second win of 2023 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Right after Worldwide Technology Raceway, we'll be heading out to Sonoma Raceway for the final race on NASCAR on Fox, and actually will be on main Fox for the first time in a very long time. This race is known, of course, to be a race that's not always been reduced to greatest racing, but Dale Suarez picked up his first career victory. This time in Sonoma, though, I'm going to go with the guy who was very, very fast in other times here at Sonoma, who's won here twice throughout his career. I'm going to go with the driver moving to a new team, Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch will get his first points-paying win of the season and first points-paying win with driving for Rich Schultz Racing at this track. Was really good here at other times in the past, and I think Kyle Busch will pick up a very important victory in his career. Plus, RCR has been really fast on road courses too, so why not? I'm going to go with Kyle Busch winning at Sonoma. Right after Sonoma, we got a 1 week break, and then we're racing at Nashville Super Speedway. Now, the last time we were here at Nashville Super Speedway, this race was won by Chase Elliott. In 2023, we're going to say similar into the Chevy camp winning. This race, of course, will also be a night race in 2023. The driver who I'm picking to win at Nashville is going to be Ross Chastain. Now, this will be Ross Chastain's last win of the 2023 season. Chastain was very fast in this race in 2022, and I think that pace will come into play for Ross Chastain, as I think his aggression will play a factor as well. I'm going with Ross Chastain to win here at Nashville. Right after Nashville, we'll be going to a new course for the first time, the Chicago Street Course, which, of course, replaces Road America. And this also will be, I believe, the halfway point of the 2023 season. This racetrack has a lot of unknowns. It's probably going to have a lot of attrition and a lot of wrecking. I think that Austin Cindric is actually going to be the winner of this race. I'm picking Austin Cindric to win this. And the reason I'm picking Austin Cindric is because Austin Cindric was very, very fast historically on road courses throughout his NASCAR Cup Series career. And I think Cindric will get his only win of the 2023 season, but it's going to come in a very clutch victory at the Chicago Street Course and gets his first win of 2023. After Chicago Street Course, we'll be heading back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. And this time around, I'm going to be going with a guy who, of course, was really strong in Talladega in 2022, which I expect racing very similar to Talladega. And also, I think he will also be fast in a spring race as well. Led a lot of laps in races here at Atlanta. I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney to win his second race of 2023 at Atlanta. Brian Blaney was quick in this race in the summer and in the spring as well. And I think that's going to play a major role and a major factor. So I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney to win at Atlanta. After racing Atlanta Motor Speedway, we'll be racing at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, a 1-mile track. This pick is a no-brainer to me who I'm picking to win. This guy won the race in 2022 and probably should have had 2 in a row because he was really fast in the 2021 edition. I'm going with Christopher Bell. This is going to be Christopher Bell's only window of 2023. That's right. I don't think Bell's going to win more than one race in 2023. Christopher Bell's probably going to be fast and consistent, but this is a race where you have to circle him down as one of the best drivers at this track. I'm going to go with Christopher Bell to get it done at New Hampshire. Right after racing in New Hampshire, we'll be racing at Long Pond, Pennsylvania at Pocono International Raceway. Last time we were here, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch finished 1 and 2, but both got disqualified, and Chase Elliott went on to win the race. I think this time around, we're going to see a drivers up front get the victory in this one and actually keep the victory. I'm going with Kyle Busch to win at Pocono. Kyle Busch has been always good at Pocono throughout his career. He's won here a couple times. In 2017, got a very big win here. Won here in 2019, and also won here in 2021. So if you take track of that and keep track of that statistic, he's going to win here at Pocono in 2023 and get his 4th win in the last 6 years. I'm going to go with Kyle Busch winning at Pocono and winning at this track. Right after racing at Pocono, we're going to be heading to Richmond International Raceway for the 2nd time. The last time we raced here in the summer, we saw a really epic finish between Kevin Harvick and Christopher Bell, where Christopher Bell had fresher tires. Then Kevin Harvick is catch him. If he has one more lap, he passes Kevin Harvick for the overall victory. This time around, I'm going to be also picking Kevin Harvick to win his only race in his last career Cup Series victory. Kevin Harvick, great at Richmond throughout his career. He's going to be strong throughout the 2023 season. I expect him to be really, really strong. But I think that Kevin Harvick is going to be very, very quick in 2023 at this race. And I think that Kevin Harvick will bring the same pace and speed he had in 2022. Kevin Harvick gets his first and only win of 2023 at Richmond. Right after racing in Richmond, we'll be racing at Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. The driver who I'm picking to win, because this guy was very, very fast in this race in 2022, I'm picking Bubba Wallace to get his 2nd and last win of 2023 and get his first multi-win season. Bubba Wallace was exceptionally quick in this race in 2022. Got held up in traffic, got held up by Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson near the end of the race and lost an opportunity and a shot to win, but came home 2nd. I think he gets one position higher and will get a win, and a very well-deserved win. I'm picking Bubba Wallace to win at Michigan. Right after Michigan, we're going to be heading to the Indianapolis Road Course. This track, of course, hosted an insane finish in craziness and chaos near the end of the race. The driver who I'm picking to win, this guy's a no-brainer to me. I'm going to pick AJ Allmendinger to win this one. This is going to be AJ's only win of 2023, just because AJ, I think he's going to be fast at road courses. There's a lot more competition in this than the NASCAR Xfinity Series. AJ is going to be really fast, though, and I think he gets it done this time around with the pace and speed of that number 16 car. Kaulig, I'm expecting to be much faster in 2023. I think AJ gets it done. Right after the Indy Road Course, we'll be racing at Watkins Glen. The last time we were at this track, we saw Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott basically be the 2 strongest cars. Chase Elliott dominated this race, but he got bumped out of the way by his teammate, Kyle Larson, and Larson went to victory lane. This time around in 2023, I don't see Kyle Larson winning this time around. I think Chase Elliott, after basically losing the last 2 races here, after having one of the strongest cars, I think Chase Elliott is going to get his 3rd win of the 2023 season at Watkins Glen and get back to victory lane at Watkins Glen. Chase Elliott's been really historically great at this racetrack, one of his best tracks ever. He's won here twice, and I think Chase Elliott will get his 3rd ever win at Watkins Glen next year in 2023. And in the final race of the regular season is going to take place at Daytona International Speedway. This race the last time was insane, chaotic, rain affected the outcome of the race, and Austin Dillon stormed to the victory. This race I also expect to be a pretty big wild card race with the competition. The driver who I'm picking to win this one is probably going to be a little bit of a surprise, and probably also not a major surprise. I am picking Brad Keselowski to win the cutoff race at Daytona. Now, I don't think this is going to get him in the playoffs, sadly, but I think Brad Keselowski wins at Daytona. Keselowski in the spring race in 2022 was the fastest car in the one of the fastest cars in the Daytona 500, and I think he's going to bring that genuine pace and that really good speed, and I think he gets it done in the cutoff race at Daytona. And now we're going to get into the playoffs. Let's first talk about the Southern 500 for 2023, the race that kicks it off. This race in 2022 was won by Eric Jones, who got basically his second Southern 500 win in the last 4 years. This time around, though, I'm picking a driver who's been really strong in the Southern 500 throughout his career. Should have won this race in 2018. Should have probably won the 2021 race if not for his penalties. And probably should have had a shot at winning the 2022 editions here. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson to finally win the Southern 500. He broke that curse of winning at Homestead, finally got the illustrious win at Homestead. So I think he finally breaks the camel, the monkey's back, and finally picks up a victory in the Southern 500 and gets his third win of the 2023 season by winning the Southern 500. Right after Southern 500, we'll be racing at Kansas Speedway for the second time. This time around, I think we're going to see another win for 2311 Racing. Tyler Reddick, I'm picking to sweep the weekend. Tyler Reddick will become the first driver to sweep at Kansas in a very long time. I remember the last time a driver swept the weekend at Kansas. I think maybe 2017 when Mark Truex Jr. swept the weekend. It's been that long. But I think Tyler Reddick and the 45 team are going to be very, very strong. And I think Reddick will get his second win of the 2023 season with a very, very important victory at Kansas. Right after Kansas, we go into Bristol for the cutoff race. Last time we were here, Chris Buescher pulled up a very shocking upset victory after having one of the fastest cars in this race in a very surprising way. Chris Buescher picked up the victory. I see Chevy getting back to being a strong team, though, at this week, and a Hendrick being strong. I'm going with Kyle Larson to win at Bristol. Kyle Larson won the Bristol race in 2021, and I think he's going to bring that same pace and same speed that he had in 2022. So I think Larson gets it done, and we'll get another win at Bristol, get a second win at Bristol, and sweep Bristol for the whole year in 2023. I think Larson gets it done. Now let's get into the round of 12. Those will be, of course, Texas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Roval. Let's begin by talking about Texas. This race was an absolute crapshoot and one of the worst NASCAR races in NASCAR history. It was just a complete disaster of the race, and one of the reasons why Texas only has one race now in the season. The driver who I'm picking to win this time around is a driver that basically had issues in his career in a sense. Unfortunately, this guy ended up having a concussion. It took concussion-like symptoms that took him out for about 5 or 6 weeks, which is really, really unfortunate. This time around, though, he gets redemption. I am picking Alex Bowman to get his only win of 2023 at Texas Motor Speedway. Alex Bowman, I think, is going to be fast throughout the year, and it's going to be a contract year for Bowman. I just don't know how he's going to perform when he had those issues from earlier in the year. But I think Bowman gets it done. I think he'll have a lot of pace and speed. Alex Bowman wins at Texas. After Texas, we're going to Talladega Superspeedway for the second time. The last time we were here in the fall race, Chase Elliott went on to win the race, and a very good finish between him and his good friend Ryan Blaney. This time around, I think a very similar case is going to happen. I've got Chase Elliott winning at Talladega. Chase Elliott's been really good at Talladega throughout his career, and I think that in 2023, the same occurrence is going to happen that happened in the 2022 season. Chase Elliott gets it done with the pace. He will win his fourth race of the year in 2020. Actually, his fourth win of the year comes at Talladega. After Talladega, we're going to be racing at the Charlotte Roval for the round of 12 cutoff race to decide who gets into the round of 8. And I think that this race will probably not be as chaotic. Hopefully the road course racing will be a lot better, because this race in 2022 was just a complete freaking mess, with Christopher Bell going on to basically get a very big upset victory to lock his way into the round of 8. This time around, though, a driver who probably should have won this race will get it done. Chase Elliott gets back to victory at the Roval. This will be Chase Elliott's second win in a row, which will be the first time a driver has, I think, gone back-to-back in a very long time in the Cup Series side of things. I think Chase Elliott will pick up a very important victory and win his 5th and final race of 2023 at the Charlotte Roval. Right after Charlotte Roval, we're going to be going ahead and kicking off the round of 8, and those will be, of course, Las Vegas, Homestead, and Martinsville. Let's begin by talking about Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This race was dominated by Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, and a couple other guys were extremely dominant. I was originally going to pick Ross Chastain to win this race, but I'm going to be going with the driver who's going to be really strong on the mile and a half to get his third win of 2023, Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick was insane in a lot of his mile and a half races in 2022, but had tire troubles. I don't see him having those same tire problems in 2023. I expect him to bring great pace and great speed, and I think Tyler Reddick will be their winner at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the number 45 car and gets his final win of the 2023 season at Las Vegas. Right after Las Vegas, we're at the Homestead Miami Speedway for the middle race of the round of 8. Last time we were here, Kyle Larson basically dominated and had the best car all day, led 199 laps, did have a little bit of trouble with Mark Truex Jr., but went on to win at Homestead anyways. I think this time around at Homestead, Kyle Larson does the same thing. I'm picking Kyle Larson to go ahead and go back-to-back. Larson's the king of Homestead. Dominated the race. At one point, had a nearly 10-second lead in 2022. And I think in 2023, he is going to definitely be bringing the heat there. And I think Kyle Larson wins at Homestead. The final race of the round of 8 takes place, of course, at Martinsville. Last time, we saw Cristobal have a big walk-off victory. And we saw the Hail Melon move by Ross Chastain, which is very impressive. And we probably could see that again in 2023 unless NASCAR decides to go ahead and ban the move. This time around in Martinsville, though, in the fall race, I'm picking a Ford to win. I'm going to go with Chase Briscoe to get his only win of 2023 at Martinsville. I think he's going to get a last-minute victory. I don't think this will advance him into the championship four, sadly, but I think at Martinsville, we're going to see Chase Briscoe have a lot of great pace and speed, and I think he gets it done at Martinsville. And now, finally, we're going to have the championship race and the championship for Decider. This is going to be a very, very strong race where I think you're going to, well, probably not a strong race per se, but probably a race where guys will be very, very competitive that are going to be there. Every year, you've had to win the race to win the championship. Every driver who's won the race has won the title. So I think the champion is going to win the race. So I have Kyle Larson not only winning the 2023 Phoenix race, but I also have him winning the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Expect a big bounce back from Larson. They're going to start you off a little bit slower, a couple wins, but be a little slower. But I think that at the end of the year, they're going to come on strong and win 4 of the final 10 races of the season. I've got Kyle Larson winning the 2023 Cup Series Championship and also being the #1 driver of the year. And also have Kyle Larson winning the race at Phoenix. So, those are the race winners' predictions for 2023. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links are going below over that, and comment your thoughts below on today's video. What are your race winner predictions for 2023? Let me know in the comments below in your particular order. Tomorrow on my channel, we are going to have 2 special videos dropping on the channel. We're going to be having the F1 review for Abu Dhabi, and we're also going to be having a special video dropping in regards to Q&A that's going to be coming out on Thursday, and I'll basically do the video recorded on Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll have the video live on Thursday. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.